We are now on air. Time for a total takeover.
It's finally here. Welcome to a new episode.
It's about to go down.
Good morning. Greetings and salutations. It's yours truly, Dan Adams, a.k.a. the Soulful Conservative, the DA, and the prosecutor, coming to you live and direct from the Political Heat Remote Studios, a.k.a. my vehicle. This dropped the boys off at the senior high, and I'm headed to the 9 to 5, and I am coming to you. For those that don't know, I lost my Galaxy S. I shouldn't say lost, misplaced my Galaxy S phone earlier this week, so I had to move over to the spare iPhone 6 Plus that I had at my house. And so I'm on that until my upgrade eligibility date in December. And I haven't heard any news of a new Galaxy S phone coming out, so I'm going to be in a conundrum. Should I go? I had an S7. Do I go an S8 or wait until the S9 comes out? Don't want the Note. Phone's too big. This S Plus is too big for me, but I need a phone until I'm able to get a new one. So we'll see how this video looks. I hope I'm looking all right. I hope I'm looking not too ugly on the video screen. So, ladies and gentlemen, got a few topics I want to talk about. And the first one I want to talk about is Donald J. Trump's tax reform initiatives. I have not had a chance, ladies and gentlemen, so you'll have to excuse me on this, but I have not had a chance to check out his speech or go on whitehouse.gov. Not whitehouse.com. You don't want to go there, ladies and gentlemen, unless you want to. But whitehouse.gov and look at the layout in regards to his tax reform initiatives. Now, there are a lot of pundits and some Republicans, conservatives, I should say, that feel that these initiatives don't go far enough. They agree with a lot of them, but some of them don't go far enough. And I believe one of the big ones is in regards to the marginal rates and the tax cuts given to those at the higher levels, rich folk. And, of course, the Democrats and the liberals and the leftist numbnut moonbats are up in arms in regards to any rich individual in this country getting any kind of tax break, tax cut, and any type of relief of the burdensome, did I say that right? Burdensome regulation that's been dumped on them, especially these past 8 years under the previous administration. And I'm looking at it like this. If it's going to spark and spurt economic growth, then I'm all for it. Have always been for tax cuts. I'm all for the fact that we shouldn't be paying the government the taxes that we're paying them right now. But we're in a different world, ladies and gentlemen. And over the decades, we have allowed government to grow and grow and grow and grow completely out of control. So I'm looking at it, is it government's fault? Partially, but it's partially our fault as well for allowing this swamp, ladies and gentlemen, to even exist, to allow the corruption to exist, to allow the government to run amok. Now, someone said something on Facebook on a Facebook post talking about, about term limits. And I stated, hey, to a certain degree, I am for term limits because, number one, we need to start draining this swamp. And how do you drain a swamp, ladies and gentlemen? You cannot allow individuals who have been okay, I'm sorry. A bus had stopped and this jackass just blew right through it just because, now, when you see lights, you stop. Just because that stop symbol hasn't swung out to tell you to make sure that you completely stop. but you stop, jackass. But anywho, don't mean to go off on a tangent. And I was talking about, what the heck was I just talking about? Just lost my frame of thought because that guy pissed me off so much. I was talking about tax cuts, and was talking about how the left, once again, is on the attack of not allowing tax cuts to be implemented, and how over the years and decades we have allowed government to grow into this cancerous mass. That's right, this cancerous mass. And as far as term limits, that's what I was talking about, term limits. I was talking about draining the swamp. And I'm thinking to myself, how are we going to drain the swamp if we don't get rid of these individuals who are infested within the swamp? Been laying in there, been freaking taking baths for decades. You know, the Chuck Schumers, the Nancy Pelosi's, the Sheila Jackson Lees, the Kerosene Maxine Waters, all them folk that's been freaking in Congress since longer than I've been alive, ladies and gentlemen. So yeah, just for that matter of fact, yeah, term limits should be put in place because we got to get these mofos out of here. Point blank in the story. Now, get back to tax reform. I will at some point, and it's not going to be today, and it's not going to be this weekend, ladies and gentlemen, because me and the better half are going up to Erie for the weekend to celebrate our wedding anniversary. Yeah, it's Erie, but you know what? It's away from Pittsburgh, it's away from the kids, and it's away from the craziness that we're dealing with on our family front. So, yeah, it's happening this weekend. But now, to get back to tax reform. Now, I'm not a tax expert. Not, shoot. You put some tax literature in front of me, and it's like freaking Greek. But I do know this. I know when tax cuts, especially when Reagan slashed taxes the way that he did. This guy, he's just walking across the street like there's no cars on the street. What is up with people? What is up with people this morning? You got a jackass not stopping for a school bus. You got that numbnut that just walked across the street as if cars, yeah, we're supposed to yield to him, but he's supposed to act like we exist. Wow, what a thirsty Thursday this Thursday is starting to be. And speaking of Thirsty Thursday, I know I'm going off on tangents, but it's all good. Maybe this iPhone that I'm using for the first time to record said show, the Dan Adams Show, is one of those types of times where, number one, I could go off on a tangent like this and everything will be cool about it. But I do not like the fact that my picture, and I got to look and see my settings, and this kind of sucks. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to pause this recording, and I'll be right back. And I'm back. The wonders of technology, ladies and gentlemen. The wonders of technology. Now, here's the deal. I looked in the camera settings on this iPhone 6 Plus to see if I can make an adjustment in regards to croppage and things of that nature. Couldn't find anything. But as I'm looking at myself now, it seems that my screen is bigger. I guess I'll find out, and you'll find out when you see this video. Now, I was on a tangent. Don't know what tangent I left off on, but I was talking about tax reform and things of that nature. And like I said, I haven't had a chance to read all of President Donald J. Trump's tax reform initiatives, but I will in the coming days, and then I will have a better informed, I know why, because I had the thing tilted. So if I go like this, ladies and gentlemen, this is why. No, that was, maybe, I don't know. I tilted the camera just a little bit more, and I'm gonna tilt it this way just a little bit. So you guys are being my guinea pigs today, trying to figure out an iPhone, which I don't like iPhones, ladies and gentlemen. I'm an Android guy. But anywho, now, done talking about tax reform. Let's jump on to the next topic, and it has to do with corruption in government and a corrupted government that we have, to the college basketball bribery scandal happening within college athletics. Now, ladies and gentlemen, if you haven't heard, there are some coaches that are being brought up on federal bribery and extortion charges. Rick Pitino, legendary Hall of Famer Rick Pitino, was just fired from Louisville along with the athletic director. This is just the tip of the iceberg, as I said on social media yesterday. This is just the tip of the iceberg. I don't know how many college institutions that this particular bribery and extortion scandal is going to touch. But we all known for years. I'm trying to adjust this. Every time I think this camera's not right, and it's right when I go look at it, when I go edit it. But anywho, get back to the topic at hand. The college basketball bribery and extortion scandal. This is just the tip of the iceberg from what we've learned so far, what I believe. Because these are federal charges, ladies and gentlemen. Federal bribery and federal extortion charges. And let's talk about what it's all about in regards to these kids being pampered, being given money, being given gifts, and for the I guess promise of, hey, if we give you this, then you're going to sign with this college and you're going to sign on with this particular shoe company. And there's other things involved in this case, but these are the two things that I want to talk about. Now, I've always been a proponent of college athletes being paid, and especially being paid from these Division I powerhouse colleges and universities, the ones that have many millionaires flowing through those institutions. These broke, and I mean some, not all, but a lot, excuse me, coming up through the ranks, broke-ass kids coming onto these college campuses with no money, but yet they are making these universities and college campuses and institutions millions of money off of their God-given talent. So how does that? And the NCAA is the most hypocritical institution, one of the most hypocritical institutions that is in existence today. They want to talk about integrity. They want to talk about this and that in regards to not paying these college athletes, but yet they are reaping the benefits of these some broke-ass college athletes coming onto their campuses, risking their particular livelihoods in order for them to make money. Because without colleges and universities making money, there would be no NCAA. That's just get it point. Come on, stop faking the funk here. If these colleges and universities were not making money, there would be an NCAA, but it wouldn't be the NCAA that we know of today. Okay? That's just the truth. So if you want to continue to go down this path and not pay these young lads and young females coming up through the ranks who are making these colleges and universities and ultimately the NCAA, hundreds of millions, probably billions of dollars, then this is what's going to have to take place. These individuals who are in charge of recruiting and finding and, trying to land these 5-star and 4-star athletes, they're going to continue to go down this path of bribery. They're going to continue to give these kids money and gifts and paying these kids' parents' bills and mortgages and things of that nature in order to land these 5- and 4-star recruits. So of course, the rules are in place, ladies and gentlemen. But the rules absolutely stink. and these kids have to abide by, these parents have to abide by, these colleges and universities have to abide by these rules placed upon them by the NCAA. I don't know where you stand on it. If you're watching this or listening to this, in the comment section, let me know where you stand on it. Now, to wrap up this Thursday, I guess, what's the word I'm looking for? Abbreviated edition of the Dan Adams Show. I want to talk about what you think is going to happen in regards to the NFL's upcoming weekend. Now, there's a game tonight. I believe it's, I think it's, cannot look at it while I'm driving. I believe it's Chicago at Green Bay, I think. Now, what's going to happen tonight and what is going to happen Sunday? Well, I can't speak for these athletes and what they're going to do. I can only speak for myself and what I'm going to do because I can't speak for you and what you're going to do. There's a lot of people who have stated on my social media accounts that they are done with the NFL. They've rescinded their NFL ticket and things of that nature. I'm on the fence still, ladies and gentlemen. I'm truly on the fence. The Steelers came out yesterday, said that they're going to stand, and I mean everyone's going to stand for the national anthem. Everybody's like, too little, too late. You've made your bed and this and that. All I have to say, ladies and gentlemen, is I'm still on the fence. If that makes me a bad person, then I don't know. I guess I'm a bad person that I'm on the fence in regards to this. But, ladies and gentlemen, probably won't be watching it anyway because it's my wedding anniversary weekend with my better half and my best friend. So, and we'll be in Erie at that point. So, probably won't be watching anyway. So, as I end this broadcast, this Thursday broadcast of the Dan Adams Show, let me end it like I always do. Haven't had my coffee yet. May God continue to bless you and yours. May He keep you and your family safe. Until next time, God bless. On the iPhone 6 Plus. Peace.
If tomorrow is our great getting up morning, if tomorrow we have to meet the judgment day, Heavenly Father, we want you to let our folks know that we died facing the enemy. We want them to know that we went down standing up amongst those that are fighting against our oppression. We want them to know, Heavenly Father, that we died for freedom. Amen. We ask these blessings in Jesus' name. Amen.
He says the national anthem issue is important. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News.
It's not a distraction at all.
And President Trump tells Fox and Friends,
guess what? Most people agree with me. And the NFL's in a box. They have to do something about it.
He's calling on owners to fire players who kneeled during the anthem last week to be fired. Well, that led to the bigger protest. And there's another game tonight. Packers fans in Green Bay urged to lock arms, joining players in his show of unity. The president also tells Fox after Senate Republicans failed again to pass a plan to replace Obamacare.
I'll negotiate with the Democrats. If we can come up with a fantastic health care bill, that's okay with me. Good for both parties, bipartisan.
Now, the president also has a tax reform plan. He says it'll help the middle class, reducing brackets to 3 and creating jobs, slashing the corporate rate to 20%. He just tweeted, Democrats don't want massive tax cuts. And how does that win elections? They are already against what came out yesterday. Fox's Rachel Sutherland live in Washington.
Dave, they're calling it morally repugnant and a tax cut for the rich. Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer among Democrats blasting the tax plan.
The wealthiest Americans and wealthiest corporations make out like bandits, while middle-class Americans are left holding the bag.
Some Democrats have signaled they're open to working with Republicans on tax reform. Indiana Senator Joe Donnelly, who flew to his home state with President Trump, has said he'll work with Senate colleagues, but he won't be pushed into supporting a plan he doesn't think is good for Hoosiers. Dave?
Amid the North Korean nuclear threat, China today ordered North Korean-owned businesses to close, cutting foreign revenue for isolated North Korean under the UN sanctions imposed over nuclear and missile programs. Hugh Hefner has died. The man who built the Playboy empire out of a nude Marilyn Monroe photo in a 1953 magazine.
Sex, was that dirty little secret that everybody was fascinated with but didn't talk about.
Hefner says he hopes he played a role changing cultural and sexual values. He was 91, died at the famed Playboy Mansion. Fox News, fair and balanced. It's another rough day for Americans on the hurricane-ravaged Virgin Islands and in Puerto Rico. More aid is arriving, but
you have a bit of a clog because you don't have enough truck drivers to get that in, and you also don't have the roads that are clear enough to get that help to where it's needed most.
Fox's Garrett Tenney in Puerto Rico. What will the U.S. do about Cuba and the 21 American diplomats with brain damage, hearing loss, and other ailments from their time in Havana?
Cuba denied responsibility for attacks on American diplomats in Havana. A State Department official says Cuba's foreign minister requested a meeting with Secretary of State Rex Tillerson. Scheduled for 30 minutes, the two spoke for about an hour. The Cuban government says the investigation is still ongoing and has reached no conclusions on who is responsible. U.S. officials say Secretary Tillerson is considering several options, like reducing staff, closing the embassy, or consequences for Cuba for failing to protect American diplomats. The State Department says someone or something attacked 21 Americans in Havana, described as sonic attacks. At the State Department, Rich Edson, Fox News.
Southwest Airlines wants to avoid the backlash United got over a passenger dragged off a flight, immediately apologizing for this.
A woman who claims she was deathly allergic to 2 dogs on board was dragged off a Los Angeles-bound Southwest Airlines flight in Baltimore Tuesday night when she wouldn't get off.
Don't touch me! Let's walk!
Yelling she was trying to get to her father's surgery, at one point accusing officers of ripping her pants.
I need to close my pants! What are you doing? Close your pants and let's go.
In that video shot by another passenger, some people can be heard asking her to just leave peacefully.
Jeez, lady, get off the plane. Make the complaint later.
Passenger Bill Dumas says authorities spent a long time talking and trying to work with the woman who didn't provide medical corroboration. Lillian Wu, Fox News.
On Wall Street, stock futures down before today's trading. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News Radio.
Didn't provide medical corroboration. Lillian Wu, Fox News.
On Wall Street, stock futures down before today's trading. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News Radio.
Beware, this true lyricist, this verbal scientist invading your mind. Call on your defense. Only way to penetrate is a better offense. Turn on your radio dial, take a listen real hard. Tell me what's missing. It's time to make an observation. These ignorant rhymes are the complication. Now you need me to deliver an all-star that's up to par. But who's up to par when it comes to this music? People out there tend to abuse it, taking it for granted, showing no humility. People tend to question my ability, but I'm here to perfect my craft. Globally connect to complete the task. Be boys, be girls, around the world. It's time to get down. It's time to get down, to get down, to be boys, be girls, around the world. It's time to get down. It's time to get down, to get down. As I walk through this musical haze, I display the proper attitude that will make it through the maze. So let me introduce this new routine that will dazzle the scene. Take a minute and let's review the events that have transpired. Desire overcomes the physical. My mental preparation confirms my potential. As I leak into the residential, hunting down hip-hop that's gone commercial. Forget those gimmicks and gadgets. I improvise supervise, tend to authorize these new styles of speech. You need an extension cord just to reach the lowest rung of the ladder. You need to cease with all that chit chat. Be boys, be girls, around the world. It's time to get down. It's time to get down, to get down, to be boys, be girls, around the world. It's time to get down. It's time to get down, to get down. Stepping out of bounds seems to be your forte. So your red flag if you need the replay. This decision won't be overturned. Not enough evidence to conquer the relevance. The outstanding warrant for your arrest. You failed the sobriety test. Your flow is never lyrical, always one-dimensional. Surely my ways are unconventional. You signed the lease, the terms are conditional. Cause your flow is unconstitutional. Abide by the rules and regulations. A concrete stipulation. Sign up for some lyrical training. Melodic is here, always maintaining, breaking traditions. To settle the score, got the people asking for more. Be boys, be girls, around the world. It's time to get down. It's time to get down, to get down, and be boys, be girls, around the world. It's time to get down. It's time to get down, to get down.